I'm sure you don't remember me. My name's Hayat, Mordecai Hayat. I wanted to offer my condolences.
Thank you.
Please, forgive my prying. I know Mr. Szulski took nitroglycerin for his heart, but how did he pass away? Was that his cause of death? His heart?
Why are you so interested in my father's cause of death?
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have. I'm sorry. I'll leave you alone. I'm sure you want to bid farewell to your father.
I think I ought to arrest you, Thaumaturge.
I haven't done anything, officer. What's the problem?
I barely recognize you either. You still haven't figured out who I am? Don't be surprised. The last time we saw one another was 20 kilos ago.
Uncle Voronian?
I will not keep you. The guy's probably all alone back there, among those vultures circling Stasio. I'm sure she'll be glad to see you. Go on. We'll talk later.
Sister?
Wiktor. I'm so glad you came. I wasn't sure if my telegram had reached you.
I'm glad to. How are you holding up?
All this caught me off guard, but for now I don't have time to think things through calmly. Look at yourself. What happened?
Have you written to Mother?
Yes, but what can you expect? You know what Nadia is like. It was never her style to show up for family events like this. It's getting late, and we've still got the reading of Papa's will ahead of us at home. And I'll leave you two alone. I suppose you've got your own matters to clear up.
Fine, let's get this over with. So, it was me who got it right in the end. Back then, on the train platform, was the last time we saw one another. 15 years ago. After brief suffering, fell asleep in the Lord. Brief? I hope not. Did you write this yourself? A tyrant, bigot, and liar, mistakenly absolved, died after suffering all too briefly. That's better. Definitely closer to the truth. The day you died, you visited me in my dreams. I was a child when you hounded me out of here, and I remember you as you were back then. But in my dream you looked older. You gave me hell as usual. You didn't believe I'd succeed. You were wrong. I've come back with 2 salutars. I'm sorry there are so many things I didn't get to say to your face. All those years, I said them over and over to myself in my head. How you were never able to admit a mistake. You never sought blame in yourself. Someone else was always guilty, never you. Mother, because she wanted something for herself in life. Ligia, because she wasn't born a boy. Me, because I was born a Thaumaturge, but I didn't want to live following your principles. And now... Farewell, Father.
Am I intruding?
Have you been eavesdropping like that for long?
All my life, I came to pay my respects to the dead. Stanisław and I were acquainted. You might say I knew everything about your father. Mr. Wiktor Szulski, isn't it? Your absence from Warsaw has happily come to an end, I hope.
With all due respect, this is my personal business. It was my father who knew you, not me.
True. Please forgive me. I meant no harm. Again, my condolences.
I didn't catch your name.
My name's Kanieczkin. Ivan Kanieczkin. Goodbye.
Such interesting friends you had. I guess I'm more tired than I thought. Great-grandmother Josefina, a Thaumaturge. Grandpa Nikodem, a Thaumaturge. I barely remember him. We can go. The hardest thing was getting the lid of the urn. The scattering I could handle.
You can play the clown, but I know how much this has cost you. I'm glad you went.
Love at a funeral. Eros postmortem. Is it suitable for a young lady in mourning to fraternize with bachelors? Konstancja Szabłowska, the Warsaw Courier. Could I ask for a brief comment?
Hyena.
Thank you. And you, sir?
We're twins, my dear lady.
The Szulskis reunited. You don't look like a horrid cripple. Why did you leave Warsaw so quickly?
Don't tell her anything. She'll write whatever she wants anyway. And we'd better get going.
I suggest you leave. Otherwise, I'll overlook your womanhood and make sure you can never pronounce a single syllable correctly again.
You'd permit that to happen, Judge? Maybe I should write about this.
And who would let you print it?
Someday the press will get the Russian boot off its neck, Judge.
I'm afraid none of us will live to see the day, my dear. Come on, children. I'm sure my Petya is already waiting for us at home.
I'd love to see my cousin.
Are you coming with us?
Thanks.
Get in. I'm sure the lawyer is already waiting for us.
Miss, your guests have arrived. The lawyer's upstairs too, waiting. A trifle jittery. Wonder if the tea I made him was too strong.
Thank you, Grażyna, dear. Let the guests wait. First, I want to take care of the will.
I'll just wet my whistle and join you all upstairs.
Make sure Uncle makes it upstairs sober. And I'll suggest you don't dawdle either.
Master Victor, good God! Half your face covered, but I could tell right away it was you. You look just like your father in his youth. Completely his spitting image. Should I make you some cocoa, Master? It would warm you up a little.
Make an extra creamy one for Ligia.
Oh, I won't skimp on her. Now, your sister's putting a brave face on all this, but she's really having a hard time. It's lovely to see you again. But that's enough jabber for now. I've got the guests and the cocoa, and I've got to whip up some food for you all later. We'll talk soon.
I don't want to put my foot in my mouth again. I already failed to recognize someone once today, but you look familiar.
Well, I should think so. I was the victim of one of your starling hunts. Voronins must not be very memorable, cousin.
Pietia, forgive me, and for shooting you as well. How are you doing?
Just some heart problems, not a subject for today. I'm sorry about Uncle Stanislav. Forgive me for not coming to the funeral. I can't bear cemeteries.
We'll have to meet up again.
Goodbye.
I'm glad you're here. I thought I'd have to drink alone.
So many goodies laid out for the guests. Having trouble picking something for yourself, Judge?
But this was Stasios. It was
I think you mean quince liqueur with amber, right? But I won't grope around down there and...
Now, I don't want to trouble you either. Victor?
I suppose I'm obligated to accept this mission.
Good lad. A nephew like you is a treasure. How did it go? Mission accomplished?
I think this is the one Uncle wanted.
Yes. This is our little funeral battle. We would meet in Stasha's study after every funeral we went to, and race. And recently, we've been seeing one another more and more. So, to an easy death, as Stasha and I used to say.
How did he die?
Hasn't Lygia told you?
I haven't even had the chance to ask.
He didn't suffer, but such images in the memory are better saved for later. I'd prefer to remember him as he was alive. What then? Am I drinking alone?
May the ground be soft, Father. I'm not betting there's an afterlife.
Well, obligation fulfilled. Shall we get...
You'll all have to wait for me.
All right.
I am ready, Mr. Szulski. I only need all of you to be present. Can we start reading your father's will?
Yes, let his will be done. Again.
Let's begin if everyone is ready. Would you all please take a seat? Ladies and gentlemen, by the power of my office vested in me by the grace of His Imperial Majesty, the Emperor of all Russia, I hereby testify Mr. Szulski's last will and testament were prepared several years ago in the presence of Zaslav Fedorov, Esquire, that is, myself. My last will and testament recorded in the year of our Lord 1888. In the name of the Holy Trinity. Amen. Therefore, my first irrevocable wish is to appoint as executrix of this will my daughter Ligia Szulska. Immediately after my death, an inventory shall be conducted in full accordance with the law. After completing the inventory, all my personal movables will be sold at public auction. And let the funds raised thereby be donated on the anniversary of my death to the beggars near that cemetery. The administration of the remainder of my fortune I leave, without restriction, to the person of my daughter Ligia.
I'm not even getting a teaspoon.
All movables and immovables relating to the family enterprise I entrust to the care and administration of my daughter. I do not prescribe a method of administering them. I merely offer her one piece of advice. I wish that the business should be conducted with modesty, prudence, and honesty, as I have conducted it my whole life.
A joker to the very end.
To my brother-in-law and oldest friend, Alexander Voronin, I wish to leave the following: my collection of muskets and 2 revolvers, dating to the uprising in memory of our first meeting.
Stasio, I will have plenty to do in my retirement.
Enjoy your retirement.
I would also like to come to the aid of my only son, Wiktor Szulski, by entrusting him with the use of my personal black grimoire, in the hope that he will be able to make good use of it. This is my last will and testament. Carry it out solemnly, though you may have found it burdensome. However, this last bequest poses a certain problem.
Yes, it certainly does. And what is that, may I ask?
I am not in possession of this grimoire. The late Mr. Szulski used it up until his death, yet no one left it with me after his passing.
Meaning it's disappeared? Did father have his grimoire on him at the time of his death?
It was only because of the grimoire that we could identify him at all.
What actually happened? How did he die?
A building collapsed on top of him. I don't know any other way of putting it.
A building? It collapsed on top of him? How? How did this happen?
It was a day like any other. Papa had gone for his habitual walk. Every Tuesday and Thursday, he'd take a stroll to get some space, as he put it. When he didn't come back for a long time, I got the bad feeling something had happened. Then...
We rode there together. An entire wall of a tenement had collapsed. There were 3 victims, including Stasio, who had the bad luck to simply be walking by. To see him there in that condition, it's beyond description.
The grimoire. Could someone have taken it?
Perhaps, in all that confusion.
But why would anyone want Papa's grimoire? An ordinary person won't use it. Would the Thaumaturge just happen to be passing by?
Father had all his knowledge in there, but I don't know if it would be useful to someone other than him. I don't even know why he left it to me.
I'm sure Stasio had a reason.
Where did it happen? Where was this building?
The southern part of Śródmieście, not far from the police station. Anyway, you can miss it.
Of all the possibilities, this was the death that fate prepared for him.
I foresaw a slightly more pleasant end for him, myself. I doubt even he deserved such a horrible death.
Those might be the kindest words you've ever said on the subject of a father.
How typical of his sort of person to keep a portrait in his study of a family that was only a family on canvas. Not long after the painting was done, he got divorced, ruined Yagneswaran, and kicked out his son. But there the portrait hangs, as if family meant anything at all.
I don't know what exactly happened with Aboritse, but I know that Papa felt guilty. You don't want to forgive him even now that he's gone?
The dead need no forgiving. And as for forgetting, I don't know how. It's just a shame about the grimoire.
What do you intend to do?
I think we have to look for the answer in the place where it happened.
With your sight, you can make out more in those ruins than I, or Uncle, or Detective could. This is a good lead, but is it the only one?
Father evidently knew a certain Ivan Konieczkin. Have you heard anything about him?
Konieczkin? No, doesn't ring a bell.
All sorts of people came to Papa's store. That doesn't mean every one of them might know something about the grimoire.
That's true. You've got your work cut out for you.
And Mordechai Chat.
I don't think so. He worked with Father, but he left.
Do you know where I might...
Sadly,
Do you have it?
And where are Father's things?
you're standing at the very center of his kingdom. Not everything.
And the store?
I've started stock taking there to distract myself, and
As you will. Now at least I can see how little I know. Maybe these scraps of information will lead me somewhere.
Well, now that we know what's got to be figured out,
I'll see you out.
Goodbye, Uncle. And, Ligia.
The most important thing is you're here now.
How do you find our old stomping ground? Yes, I'm not too fond of this place either. This is where I had my last conversation with my father, just before I left. If you can call it a conversation. Can you see my dreams? Nightmares, actually. Ever since I decided to come back, I keep reliving the same memory. The loan shark incident. I've been seeing his death more and more lately. Perhaps we should go there and Sure is noisy. Hello?
I talk here? Do you hear me now? Victor? Victor, are you there?
Grigori? Yes.
Victor, where are you?
On the other end of the line, at home, where the telephone rang.
Incredible.
How did you know I have a telephone at home?
Something's interrupting you, Victor. I am telecommunicating with you to say I found lodgings here in Warsaw. If you need me, I'm by the cemetery. What number is it? Yes. 7 Powaskowska Street. Number 7 by cemetery. Powaskowska.
I'm glad. It's good to hear your voice.
It's good to hear you as well. Goodbye. I want to end now. What do I... like this? Wonderful.
Have you found anything yet about the grimoire? Is there any way I can help?
In Father's study, I found a trace of a woman that I couldn't identify.
Probably Svetlana Rumiantseva.
Who is she? And what did Father have to do with her?
Svetlana is a Russian aristocrat who travels with the Romanovs' court. I can only...
A customer? Where can I find...
When she's in town, she stays at the...
She might know something that...
Not so fast. To get in, you're going to need me. Svetlana is famous for her soirees where she hosts a...
What's a soiree?
How long did you say you lived with Mother in Paris? Just a party, if you like. Do you know...
Very funny.
We could go together. How about you track down some evening clothes, and I will...
Sadly, unfortunately, everything in my wardrobe is antique.
There's a shop at 11 Pruzhna Street that... We also have barbers in Warsaw in case you want to do something about...
Master Victor,
Yes, sir.
help yourself. It's been an age since we've seen Mistress Ligia.
Another...
Oh,
Excuse me? Damn it. I forgot to turn the key. Sorry, what?
You tell me. What is it?
I couldn't help noticing your
You've got a keen eye. I have to guess what everyone has.
Is there anywhere?
I want to know what people look for in fashion these days. Back in the day, all you needed was 2 padlocks and a space for your Johnson. I don't know. If you tell me that, I'll be grateful.
Let me sharpen my senses. I need some evening wear, quick.
Good proportions.
Thank you.
Alterations won't take long.
Wiktor Szulski.
I'll send a messenger and Mr. Szulski. If you'll allow me a moment of candor, as it often seems no one dares to address you with it.
Sorry, what?
Go and find yourself a barber. Now.
I won't
All right.
Let's wait. Let's wait until... So, let's kill some time.
Come in.
Please, set my hair to rights.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry. I don't usually talk to clients. Do you like it?
Yes.
Years of practice.
What is this foolishness? Open this gate!
Right. No one can keep us from entering the cemetery. It's a free country. Well,
How long are you going to keep wagging your chins? If it's closed, it's closed! Oh, Mr. Szulski, finally.
I can see you've been waiting for me. Would my presence help solve some kind of issue?
I won't talk about it out here in front of these boors. Come inside.
You're letting him in, Gravedigger? What the hell is going on?
Shut your mouths or I won't open till Judgment Day. This is about your father, you know.
All right, let's see what this is about.
Bah!
What did my father do this time?
I've got two pieces of news, so to speak. There's bad news, and I'm not sure what the other one is. Which do you want to hear first?
Tell me the bad news.
Today some rebel rousers came here and started making trouble. They ravaged your family tomb.
What do you mean, ravaged?
I couldn't believe it either. I sent you a note immediately.
What about the other news?
One night, I went out and saw the dead lying around. But not in their places, you know? In the pathways. And then I saw their graves dug up, as if the dead crept right out of the ground.
And these bodies are still lying here?
No, of course not. You can't do that. But if you want to learn more about the case, they might come out again tomorrow night. People are starting to talk about resurrections and the end of the world. Resurrections and now these maniacs. Judgment Day seems to be upon us, you know?
Goodbye.
Get rid of this scum at once.
darn it. Look at him.
I think he's a real, temperamencer.
I'll show you how you talk to magicians. Are you so eager to die, Tempermancer?
Gentlemen, don't take it personally. My sister spent a fortune on the engraving. She'll kill...
Then she'll have...
Let's take a look around. Aren't your legs getting sore? Let's... Sir...
Sweet Jesus, don't scare me. I'm just here to see if the dead are lying down. You gave those lads by the tomb a good...
Thank you, but they weren't too keen to talk.
Maybe I...
What is the WAS? Those fellas at the Mers...
Ah, the Warsaw anti-Thaumaturge. Ever since your father was laid to rest, he...
Where can I find the...
Why? Do you smell blood? There's one behind the cemetery wall. Once you have cleaned up near the mausoleum...
Goodbye.
Good.
I felt something. Where is it?
Malush, look what they got dragged in.
God damn. Are you the ones disturbing the dead and strewing the bodies all over the graveyard?
No, not that. I bet he'll call you.
The gravedigger will be surprised.
Fuck, I knew.
Don't be a sissy. I'll take the club.
There's something odd nearby. Thaumaturge never fails me. There is something here. Thaumaturge never fails me. There is something here. Thaumaturge never fails me. There is something here.